beautiful friends. How are you all doing today? Can you believe that we are weeks away from Christmas? Hanukkah starts on the 18th, and Kwanzaa starts the day after Christmas. Can I tell you my thoughts right now? The holidays came way too fucking fast this year. I am not even close to being ready. And this is the truth. I haven't even bought one gift. Not one. Usually by this time, I'm pretty close to being finished with holiday shopping. I have nothing. I'm not worried about it. It will get done. I just need to put time aside to do it. Add it to my calendar and then set my mindset to loving the hustle and bustle of the stores being crazy crowded. Now, that's a whole meditation on its own. I'm really excited about today's episode because we are getting into the 12 universal laws. Some of you may be thinking, what? There are 12? I thought there were only 3. And some of you may already know them, or maybe you have heard they exist, but you don't know what they are and the meaning behind them. Well, after listening to today's episode, you will. You will learn a little bit about all 12, and then in a few upcoming episodes, we are going to dig deeper into each law. Because I feel it's really important to understanding these laws so we can really learn how to have the life that we have always wanted. But before we go there, I wanted to give a big shout out to everyone listening in Atlanta, Georgia, and to those listening in Columbus, Ohio. Hello, hello, my gorgeous friends. Thank you for listening to the Manifesting Formula. I truly appreciate you all. Get those journals out and keep them out. This is an episode you're going to want to take notes from. But first, we are going to add a few inspirational quotes to our list. Are you ready? Here we go. Do not be scared to say, I love you to yourself. Stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say to yourself as loudly as you can, I love you. I respect you for what you have faced in life, and I love you for what you have become. Number 2, this quote is from Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Yes, so very true, my friends. You can't stand still if you want to get anything done. You have to keep moving. Okay, it's time to come from a place of gratitude, a place of love. So tell me, what are you thankful for today? Think about it, say it out loud, feel it, my friends. Today, I'm thankful for 2023 being an incredibly successful year for me in many different ways. In my business, the Life Coach Academy, in my relationships, with overflow of money in my life so I can give back to others, with my husband and children, and with the intentions that I have set for 2023. Thank you, universe, for always taking care of me and for helping me to take the actions that need to be taken for me to reach the goals that I set for myself. Do you all see how I'm setting my intentions for 2023? And I'm already thanking the universe for what I'm expecting to happen in my life. I'm thanking the universe for what I want and for what I know is going to take place. For I am going to create this with the help from our Creator. I'm truly grateful. You have no idea. My friends, it's finally time to get into today's episode, which is on the 12 universal laws, what they are, where they come from, and what they mean. We've all heard of the law of attraction, which is the most common law spoken about. Many of us have heard of the law of assumption, the law of creation, and the law of allowing. But what about the law of divine oneness, the law of cause and effect, or the law of correspondence? Yes, that's correct. The law of attraction is just one of the 12 universal laws, and getting familiar with the other 11 can help you unlock a more spiritually aligned life so you can attract what you're wanting. So, what are the 12 laws of the universe? The 12 universal laws are thoughts to be indigenous, unchanging laws of our universe that ancient cultures have always intuitively known, going all the way back to ancient Egypt with Hermetic philosophy, which uses 7 of the 12. These laws are about mastering your life with love and joy so you can create the life you've always dreamed of living. The 12 universal laws are indisputable explanations of how things operate in our reality. These laws cannot be created or destroyed. They merely describe how things are. They exist whether you believe they do or not, and they are always working. So, where do the 12 universal laws come from? The laws originated from our Creator, God, the universe, higher power, source, energy, whatever term you use. Just like physical laws, like the law of energy or the law of gravity, these universal laws were not invented by anyone, but rather discovered by humans through their experiences and observation throughout the centuries. Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravity, but it always existed way before it was discovered. Why are the 12 laws of the universe important? The 12 laws of the universe describe the way things operate in this reality that we are living in. These universal laws are always working, whether you are aware of them or not. So, not understanding them puts you at a disadvantage in life. You know how I always say that life is a game? Well, these laws are like the rules of the game. If you want to win the game, you must first learn the rules, just like you must learn how to swim before jumping in a pool. Understanding the laws of the universe will not only help you survive in this game of life, but it will also help you win. There is a total of 12 laws of the universe that are universally accepted to be true. So get your pens ready because you're going to do a lot of writing. We are going to talk about the main law, which is the first law. The first and most foundational law of the universe is the law of divine oneness. This law states that everything is connected and nothing is truly separate from each other. Everything in the universe is an extension of a higher energy, which means nothing is separate on a spiritual level. This law helps you to remember that no matter what happens in this physical reality, you are never separated from God or from each other on a spiritual level. This law highlights the interconnectedness of all things. It says that beyond our senses, every thought, action, and event is in some way connected to everything else. The law of divine oneness is the most valuable player of the universal laws. It's the MVP, in that it's the one upon which all the others build. This law states that we are all connected through creation. Every single atom inside of you is connected in some way, shape, or form to the rest of the universe that you move through. This means that everything we do has a ripple effect and impacts the collective, not just ourselves. To call upon this principle for self-improvement, simply remember that your actions both matter and make a difference. The law of divine oneness brings inner peace and relief to any earthly problems because you can stay grounded in the knowledge that all is well on the spiritual level, which is the truth of who we are. We are all one, connected to each other. How can you apply this law to your life? By asking yourself, how can you show more compassion and acceptance toward those you don't happen to agree with and what you understand to be true? Or a great question would be to ask yourself, what would love do in this situation? The second law is the law of vibration. The law of vibration states that everything in this world, whether tangible or intangible, is made up of energy that is vibrating at a specific frequency, which means everything that you see, like your phone, your pets, your friends, and everything that you don't see, like your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, is made of energy that is constantly vibrating. Everything in the universe has a frequency and a vibration. Our thoughts, feelings, and actions, as well as circumstances happening in our lives. Nothing ever stands still, as everything is always either being pushed away or pulled towards something. People, circumstances, events of a similar vibration are attracted to one another. So, to use this law to manifest your dreams and desires, you must match your vibration with that of what you want. I've explained this many times in different episodes. The law of vibration is an important law for your manifestations to come to fruition. With the law of attraction, your vibration will attract things, people, situations, experiences, and outcomes with the same vibration into your life. When you pair the law of vibration with the law of attraction, you now have the formula of what it takes to attract your desires into your reality through vibrational alignment. To manifest your desire using the law of vibration, all you have to do is identify the vibration of your desire and then raise your vibration until you become a vibrational match with what you want. So, how can you apply this law into your life? Listen to episode 15, 4 Ways to Keeping Your Vibes High, and episode 19, 8 Ways to Getting Your Happy On, so you can keep your vibes high. The third law is the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence states that your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal state, that our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at that moment. This law makes it easy to assess the alignment of your vibration. If your life appears to be out of order, it means your vibration is out of alignment with the loving energy of the universe. If your life appears to be thriving, it means that your vibration is in alignment with the loving energy of the universe. Our lives are created by the subconscious patterns we repeat every single day, and these patterns either serve us or hold us back, which ultimately, at any point in time, you have the power to change your outlook and your mindset, and in doing so, change your vibration to start attracting people and things on a similar positive frequency. How can you apply this into your life? By learning to become aware of your own patterns, your beliefs, which create your patterns. You want to consciously take action to break them. Start by saying this affirmation: it's happening for me, not to me. If your life is chaotic and fearful, it's because there is chaos and fear within you. If your life seems calm and grounded, it's because you feel peace within yourself. Ask yourself, what can this situation show me about myself, and what is it that needs healing within? The fourth law is familiar to many of us. It's the law of attraction. Undoubtedly the most talked about universal law out there. The law of attraction states that which is like unto itself is drawn. This law applies to everything that exists in the universe, from experiences, circumstances, people, and events to our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Everything that happens in our lives, we attract. This is why people experience what they would call a lucky streak or a downward spiral. They are attracting those things happening to them. It is no coincidence that when things are good, they get better, and when things are bad, they get worse. Because these experiences that happen can all be explained using the law of attraction. It all comes down to your energy. Your energy is constantly attracting situations, events, and experiences that are a direct match for your energy. By applying the law of attraction to your own life, you will have absolute clarity over why situations occur the way that they do, and more importantly, what you can do to shift your energy and change the outcomes you receive. Like attracts like, and what you focus on, you will attract. You have to believe that what you're wanting to manifest is possible to obtain. It's very similar to the law of vibration in this way. It's important to learn how to vibrate at a level that attracts what you're wanting. So, how can you apply this law into your life? If you want love but do not give love, for example, you're sending the universe a message about your priorities. If you repeat an affirmation but don't believe what you're saying, it's useless. When we focus on what we want versus what we don't want, it will show up in your life. Listen to episode 44, The Law of Attraction, and how the hell it works. The fifth law is the law of inspired action. The law of inspired action states that inspiration will come about when you are aligned with who you are, when you are aligned with the emotion of love, an extension of our Creator, as stated by the oneness. Practicing this law is all about slowing down, getting quiet, and creating space for divine guidance to come forward. When we let go of our need to control how things will work out, and we are instead open to all the possibilities, it makes room for new ways of achieving the goals that we might not have considered otherwise. While the law of attraction is about vibrationally aligning yourself with whatever it is you want, the law of inspired action is about taking, you guessed it, action in order to bring what you want to fruition. So you can certainly create vision boards. By taking action to move yourself closer to your vision is more crucial than you think. And yes, sometimes we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone to get to our desired outcome. The law of inspired action is all about taking those steps to invite what we want into our lives. Often, the inspiration comes from within. Inspired action is that gentle internal nudge that we sometimes miss when we aren't listening to our intuition, to our creator. It's not always a plan of action of how we thought it would happen. So, how can you apply this law to your life? Practicing this law is all about slowing down, getting quiet, and creating space for internal guidance. When we let go of our need to arrange and control how things will work out and are instead open to all possibilities, it makes room for new ways of achieving the goals that we might not have considered otherwise. Meditation is a great way to slowing down and listening. The sixth law is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This law states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving or fluctuating. Every action is created from an emotion, and our emotions are created from our thoughts, with our thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest in our physical reality. Ever been around a negative person and felt your own positivity deplete? That's one example, but it can also work the other way around. Higher frequencies transmute lower ones when applied with intention. This law makes perfect sense because the law of vibration states that everything is energy, and the law of attraction states that like attracts like. Your energy is always moving toward high vibration, positivity, or low vibration, negativity. So it's your job to monitor your vibrational alignment and to direct your focus towards better feeling thoughts when it's necessary. That's your job, my friends, paying attention to how you're feeling. We seriously need to stop blaming everyone and everything else for why our life is the way it is. We need to pay attention to these universal laws and put them into action. So, how can you apply this law to your life? Knowing this, we can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us by maintaining positive thoughts and actions. Doing small things every day that uplift you, whether that's singing in the shower, dancing like nobody's watching, meditating, expressing gratitude, or anything else. Remember, small shifts add up to major results over time. Listen to episode 21, Tapping into Your Bliss. The seventh law is the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is also known as karma. And karma states that any action causes a reaction, and that whatever you put out, good or bad, you get back. You are a magnet, and what you give to yourself or others, you will always receive back. In life, our thinking is the cause, and our experiences are the effects of our thinking. Attempts to change our experiences aren't solutions, because all negative experiences are merely the effects of our thinking. So, if we want to change our experiences, we must begin by changing our thoughts. If you have read my book, Unleash Your Inner Goddess, you will know that gratitude and affirmations are two of the most powerful tools for shifting the direction of your thoughts. So, how can you apply this law to your life? Trust that every action will have a reaction, good or bad. What you put out there may not come back to you at that moment, but that vibration, that energy that you put out there has a ripple effect. If you are coming from a place of anger or resentment, if you put that energy out there, you'll eventually be affected as a result. Be aware of how your actions and decisions are affecting not just yourself, but everyone around you, and focusing on dismissing negative energy in favor of positive vibes. Listen to episode 23, Your Energy and How It Affects You and Those Around You. The eighth law is the law of compensation. The law of compensation relates closely to the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. You reap what you sow. It instills trust in us that we will be compensated for our work as long as we are open to receiving it all in the many ways that the universe can deliver, which is like the law of allowing, being open to receiving, allowing it to come in. I want to just be clear. Compensation in this sense isn't limited to employment or financial compensation. It's about receiving compensation for all your contributions to the world around you, including the love, joy, and kindness you spread. It is all rewarded in unique ways. What you give to others shall be given to you. If you offer your highest and best to everyone and everything in life, you will be rewarded with the highest and best. Your efforts will always come back to you positively. The law states if you are wanting something, you must contribute in some way toward your goal. How can you apply this law to your life? To work with this law for purposes that will attract or compensate for love and for support, ask yourself, where am I being called to serve and support others today? This, for me, is giving the world the messages that the universe wants you all to hear by writing, editing, and recording for this podcast weekly. That right now is my biggest contribution to the world by spreading as much love and kindness to everyone that I can. The ninth law is the law of relativity. And the law of relativity states that everything is relative because we all perceive reality in our own way. The law explains why two people can go through the same situation but have two entirely different experiences. Understanding this law will help you to prioritize your inner peace over trying to defend the truth because truth is a relative word anyway. What is one person's truth isn't necessarily another one's. This law suggests that we are inclined to compare things in our world, but in reality, everything is neutral. Relativism exists in all things, and in the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. Nothing and no one is good or bad. Everything is an expression of one's perspective of a situation or circumstance. We are the ones who assign meaning to things, stating if something is right or wrong. So, how can you apply this law to your life? Applying this law can help you understand the difficult times of your life with greater compassion. For example, if you're feeling ungrateful for your living situation, your marriage, or your career, it could be because you're comparing your life with someone else's. Instead, be appreciative for what you have without needing to compare it to something or someone else. The 10th law is the law of polarity. This law says that everything in life has an opposite, good and bad, love and fear, hot and cold. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's light, there's dark. One cannot exist without the other. Going through these polar opposites is part of the human experience, and they actually help us learn from our mistakes by helping us to identify what we don't want, so we can gain clarity surrounding what we do want. Everything in life has an opposite. For every problem, there's a solution. For every obstacle, there's an opportunity. This law is what gives birth to new desires when manifesting. Every time you experience something you don't want, this law points out that the one thing you do want exists and is just waiting to be manifested in your life. So, how can you apply this law into your life? If you're facing a difficult situation like a relationship breakup or financial difficulties, or maybe a health challenge, tune into what the opposite looks like. Focus on the opposite of what is actually happening in your life. This can reveal to you a whole new perspective or lesson that needs to be learned. Doing this practice will work with the law of correspondence. The 11th law is the law of rhythm, which clearly states that cycles are a natural part of the universe. Just like the 4 seasons, your life has seasons too. Surrender to the flow of life and let your inner wisdom guide your thoughts, words, and actions. In our own lives, we can remember that integration is just as important as growth. The law of rhythm tells us that everything is forever changing, and our job is to embrace the ride. If life is tough and challenging, know that it will at some point change. If everything is amazing, then take in the moment and breathe it in, but don't try to make it last beyond the natural order of things. Each stage of life has tremendous gifts to offer. Know that if you are going through a low point in your life, the law of rhythm states that you will rise. We go through these cycles in life to learn. How can you apply this law to your life? Take note of your inner rhythms and try to work with them instead of fighting them. Feeling run down? Maybe it's better to give yourself some rest instead of powering through. Listen to your body. The 12th and last universal law is the law of gender. And the law of gender states that life works best when your masculine and feminine energies are in alignment. Our feminine energies represent the part of our consciousness that connects us to our intuition, our emotions, our creativity, and our spirituality. This feminine energy is the exact opposite of our masculine energy, which connects us to our logic, our authority, our confidence, and how we take action. I do want to point out that having more feminine energy is not better than having more masculine energy. One is not better than the other. Both the feminine and the masculine needs to work together in harmony to restore balance in our lives. Masculine and feminine energy exists in all things. The energies of giving and receiving operate within all of us, and in order to create flow, there needs to be a balance of both energies. How can you apply this to your life? You want to try to achieve your own balance between both masculine and feminine energies to live more authentically. To work with this law is to recognize where in your life the balance between giving and receiving is off and allow both sides to do their job. So there you have it, my friends, the 12 universal laws. I would actually recommend that you listen to this episode a few times to really take in what each law means. In the next few weeks, I'm going to go deeper into the 12 laws, 2 to 3 laws per episode, so we can really understand what they mean and apply them to our lives. I will also give you real examples of the laws so they can be more relatable. We are headed into 2023, and I want you to all be prepared as to how to play the game of life. We only remember one life at a time, so let's make this the best life and let's win the game. And to do that, we need to learn the rules and master them, which is why I'm here, my friends, to help you become a master at manifesting so you can live your best life. The only thing you need to do is to take in what I'm telling you and to take action. Do you think you can do that? I want you to add this to your list of what you want to bring into your 2023. Become a master at manifesting and to deliberately create the life that you have always dreamed of. Get ready, my friends. 2023 is going to be an amazing year. Let's do this. Thank you all for listening to the Manifesting Formula, and thank you all for the reviews that I've received and for spreading the word about how much you love this podcast. I'm only doing what I've been called to do from our Creator, writing content for you all to hear the messages from the universe. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, sending you all so much love, peace, and abundance. And if no one has told you today, I love you. See you next week. Bye. My friends, have you signed up for the new course that I released? 5 Steps to Attracting Whatever You Want? If you haven't already, you should. There is so much amazing content, and the value of this course is incredible. Once you sign up, you can take the course at your own pace. And there's no time limit to how long the course is yours. It's yours forever. So that means you can go back to it as often as you like as a refresher to keep reminding yourself what you need to practice. There are 6 modules with 42 lessons. There's a lot of amazing content for you. Videos, worksheets, and fun assignments. So my friends, if you haven't signed up, do it. You will be so happy you did. Just go to www.thelifecoach.academy and click on the course to start today. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out the Life Coach Academy and join my life certification program where we take all this material and we apply it. We take it to the next level and we study it. Join me over at thelifecoach.academy. I'd love to have you join me in our coach certification course. Our certification course is hands down one of the best certification courses out there. Just head on over to our website, www.thelifecoach.academy. What you are going to learn is going to blow your mind.